Alright everybody, so in today's video, this is going to be inspired by another YouTube video that I just casually was watching as I do throughout my life. And that video, you may all be wondering, what was it? It was one of Viz's videos, and if you guys don't know who Viz is, he's just a YouTuber that just talks about football in generally, and I quite like listening to his stuff when I'm like cooking, doing things around the house. And I quite liked one of the topics he discussed where it was basically talking about players and how they need a reality check. This might be their do or die season. They need to do something good this upcoming season that is super fast approaching. And I was like, this is actually not a bad video idea to do with the Iranian footballers on my own channel. But pretty much I'm going to be talking about 6 Iranian footballers where this could be a make it or break it season for them. And it wasn't super hard to pick because I just went through the players that are still playing in Europe. There's only, I believe, like 7 Iranians left playing in Europe. And the one I've excluded is Ali Golizadeh because he's going to be missing most of the season. So there's not really that much to talk about when it comes to him. But the other 6 players are all players that still remain in Iran. How short and small this list has gotten, it hurts me a lot inside. But before we get into it, boys and girls, we're on the road to 7,000 subscribers before the Asian Cup. And I know with your guys' help, we can reach that goal. So make sure to subscribe if you're a big fan of Iranian national team content. Smash the like button on this video because every time you guys like it, it really helps the video grow and push it out to other people to watch the video. So I would really appreciate it, and drop your guys' thoughts in the comments down below of everything I discuss. This isn't in any particular order. I'm just going to be going off the cuff, off my notes that are right in front of me. First and foremost, we're going to talk about Alireza Jahanbakhsh. And when it comes to discussing him in particular, it is really based around, is he going to continue playing in Europe? I'm super confident that he will, but you just never know. In this modern day and age, players are going to the UAE, back to Iran, but Jahanbakhsh has stuck with his guns and has still stuck it out in Europe, even though he's pissed us all off multiple times by not signing with the club pretty much to the midway point in the seasons. And yet again, he's on that same trajectory because the European seasons start in a month. Most teams are already under preseason. They're getting themselves underway before the season starts, and Jahanbakhsh is out here doing interviews in Iran, gardening with his mom. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. He definitely deserves a break, but man, you are a free agent. You've been playing this free agent game of taking long breaks for 2 back-to-back seasons. I think you'd make us all happy if you just signed with a team already. There's some reports that he's gotten offers from like the K-League, the Greek League, but the big question is he gonna continue in Europe? Even though I may be confident that he would do it, you just never know. And as much as myself and maybe many of you might think Jahanbakhsh is still that spring chicken that won the Golden Boot with AZ Alkmaar, that was almost 10 years ago. And man, that makes me feel really old. But we are closer to him retiring than him playing for many more seasons. He's like 32 years old. I'm not really sure how many more years we're gonna see Jahanbakhsh play at a high level anymore. This could be his last 1 to 3 years if we're lucky. And there has been a drastic fall off for him. After leaving Feyenoord, as I've already mentioned multiple times, being a free agent for long periods of time, going to Heerenveen, where all things considered, I thought he did pretty well there, and I felt like he probably should have just stayed there. But I believe because he got hurt at the end of the season, Heerenveen didn't want to commit for another year with him. Then he was a free agent again, went to Dender. They got relegated, so they couldn't keep him, and we're back to this weird position. I want to see Jahanbakhsh still stick it out in Europe because he has been the Iranian that has been waving that flag of, you need to play in Europe. You need to keep on pushing there. You need to play at a high level. And that is something that all of us can agree on is very commendable. And this isn't even me talking like as a biased Jahanbakhsh fan. I personally feel like I've always been very real about my opinions with Jahanbakhsh, even though I've spoken to him on a personal level, have done a video with him. A lot of people think, oh, this guy's just a Jahanbakhsh glazer. He shouldn't be in the team, even though 9 times out of 10, I have said he shouldn't be playing a big part with Team Melli anymore. He should be a locker room guy and nothing more than that. But I think because people see like the jerseys behind me, they just instantly think, become keyboard warriors and be like,
oh, dude, your opinion's invalid. You're a Jahanbakhsh glazer.
I think we all were Jahanbakhsh glazers at one point when he was winning the Golden Boot and playing in the Premier League, scoring bicycle kicks against Chelsea. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I think people have this weird and skewed mindset that I'm the type of dude that's pushing an agenda that Jahanbakhsh should still be playing for Team Melli. No. I think the most important thing for him here is sign for a club, try to stick it out for as long as you can, but actually actually try to string some serious minutes here and there. At Dender, it was really hard to watch him play. He only got 1 goal and it was a penalty. He didn't really play that many games because of his lack of fitness for being a free agent for a long period of time, him somewhat dealing with injury. This combination of not sticking with the team for a long period of time, being a free agent, him getting up there in age, it's just a bad combo. I don't know what exactly is going on behind closed doors with him, why these situations keep on happening, but I want to see at least one decent, good year from Jahanbakhsh. I think it would warm all of our hearts because he was the darling for the national team. He's one of our most well-known players, and I want to see him at least go out somewhat in a bang. I think he will likely finish off with like maybe 1 or 2 years in Iran. I personally hope he doesn't do that because I think it would kind of like tarnish his career a little bit, because a lot of the times when these old head players that were very legendary, did a lot of great things in Europe, come back to Iran, it's a pretty hard watch 9 times out of 10. So I would say try to sign with the best possible team that you can in Europe. Stick with them for at least like 2 to 3 seasons. But it's time with Team Melli getting called up. I just don't think his role for Team Melli should be nothing more than like a locker room guy. And then next up is Mehdi Taremi, the man that is the shining light for Iranians in Europe. There has been some like loose rumors that he might be exiting Olympiacos. There is a very heavy pool of strikers right now, but based on the season that he had, he was probably one of their best players in the Champions League. I just don't see how it's not really El Kaabi, Taremi as the main 2 forwards, and then everyone else is just kind of filling up the numbers. It's just a matter of how many more years is left for Taremi. I think he has got at least 2 good years in Europe, and then I think he comes back to Iran. In my eyes with Taremi, I think he's just got to go balls to the wall, try to have his best year, because I think this is probably the last hoorah for Taremi to have a good year in Europe, stack up those goals in the Champions League, stat pad as the greatest ever Iranian in UEFA football, because I don't see anybody getting anywhere close to Taremi's numbers in the Champions League, based on the fact that we just don't got any good youngsters that are playing in serious leagues in Europe. And my goodness, the day that there's no Iranians playing in the Champions League is gonna make me so freaking sad, because for the majority of my lifetime, there's always at least been one Iranian footballer playing in some sort of UEFA competitions. But as of now, there is a strong possibility that we have no Iranians whatsoever playing in any UEFA competitions. And I cannot be seeing that for my own mental health, because Lech Poznań, you guys have absolutely done my head in with that shambolic performance in securing your spot for the Champions League. And you know what? Since we're talking about Lech Poznań, let's talk about Allahyar Sayyadmanesh. He has just signed for them. He was a free agent, and I never really sat down and did a video talking about his move. I think all in all, it's decent. I think because the bar is set so low that we have like no Iranians playing in serious leagues in Europe, it seems like a decent move. He did have offers in the Bundesliga, La Liga, I think for like lower, close to relegation type teams. And even with Lech Poznań having the opportunity to qualify and play in the Champions League, I felt like he should have just gone to a top 5 league in Europe. I personally felt like he was ready. Sayyadmanesh is that type of player that I think could be very scrappy, good, create opportunities for those lower tier teams, but he decided to go to Lech Poznań because of the possibility of playing in European competition, ideally in the Champions League. But sadly, the team doesn't know how to hold a 4-1 lead at home, and sadly for Sayyadmanesh as well, missing a penalty in that game. And now I believe their best shot is maybe playing in the Europa League, but most likely I think they're going to be playing in the Conference League yet again. And it's just a huge bummer because Lech Poznań Olympiacos is basically the whole Iranian football community's teams in UEFA, because you're the only teams that can possibly qualify for those competitions that have Iranian footballers in it. And this fumble by Lech Poznań has royally pissed me off. Sayyadmanesh just needs to have a really good year with Lech Poznań. He needs to be an out-and-out starter. Yes, it's only been a small sample size. There's only been a few games to start the season. He's pretty much been a super sub for them, but he needs to be an out-and-out starter, like what Golizade is when he's not injured, banging in goals, looking like their best player, because this has to be the springboard for him in 1 to maximum of 2 years to actually go into a top 5 league in Europe. I'm happy he stayed in Europe after leaving Westerlo on a free, but I really felt like he should have gone to a top 5 league in Europe. You have played in so many good leagues across Europe. You have a really good CV for a 25-year-old, but I felt like Lech Poznań was like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Yes, you have the opportunity of playing in the Champions League, but maybe similarly to Olympiacos, you're kind of teeter-tottering into being one of those teams that will most likely not qualify, but if you maybe string 1 or 2 good results in it, you could just nick it into the knockout rounds. But now the reality is, you can't play in the Champions League. Europa League wouldn't be bad, so if you guys do qualify for that, maybe I will simmer down on the Lech Poznań hate. But you going to Lech Poznań, the banker was playing in the Champions League. That's what we needed to see. And now with you not playing in that, because the team is an absolute potato bag fumbler, the best we can get is Europa League, but most likely we're going to get Conference League again. But I really need Sayyadmanesh to just have a big year with them. We really need to start seeing him be an out-and-out starter, be a main guy for a European team. We saw that at Westerlo. Can you now translate it with Poznań? Build up your CV even more so a big team in a top 5 league will take a chance on you. And when you get into your prime in just 1 to maybe 2 to 3 years, you are playing in a serious league in Europe. You are waving that Iranian flag high. Because Sayyadmanesh is the only youngster that has taken his career relatively seriously. So in my eyes, there's got to be a lot of stock in Sayyadmanesh to do well at Lech Poznań. And speaking of youngsters, I'm going to talk about Hosseinnejad next. He has a lot of interest, serious, loose, rumors from pretty good teams in Europe. And unlike most of his compatriots, a fellow Iranian youngsters that were trying to duke it out in the Russian league have all jumped ship to either the UAE or back to Iran. He has still stuck it out. He is still there. And I really hope either this offseason or next season, he finally makes the jump to an actual serious league in Europe. I personally think he is the type of player to not go back to Iran, to not go to the UAE, and try to duke it out in Europe. I just think some of these offers that he's been getting have not been serious offers. Like, the amount of money he's getting is piss poor disrespectful. The clubs aren't that serious about getting him, because I feel like if he has gotten concrete offers from good teams in Europe, he probably would have left the Russian league by this point. I definitely think we screwed him over by not playing him, calling him up for this World Cup, because if Hosseinnejad played, I think he would have hands down gotten some decent interest from showcasing him at a World Cup. But because Qalnoui has committed the worst war crimes since Hitler himself, he has been dealt an unfortunate hand so far. So realistically, the only 2 things that could happen for him is he has to have a banger season in the Russian league, or if he does get a solid offer, he's just got to take it, be it with a relegation caliber Greek, Belgian, Turkish club, take it and run with it. Just get your foot in the door in a serious league in Europe. Try to ball out, because we all know this dude is a baller. If he gets the opportunity to show himself in a good league in Europe, he's gonna blossom. And then next up is Mohammad Mohebi. As of the time of recording, he's a free agent. He's not gonna be playing in the Russian league. There has been rumors that RB Salzburg in a lower tier Turkish club may be interested in him. I think both are okay offers all in all. Weirdly for me, in my perspective, I feel like Mohebi is a guy that could do well at like a outside looking in top 5 league in Europe type team. Like, if the offer from RB Salzburg is real, I feel like that might be a good fit for him. The Turkish league, I'm kind of 50-50 on, but if he gets an offer from maybe like the Belgian league, the Greek league, somewhere like that, I'd be pretty happy about. But it's just like, I don't know where a lot of these players' heads are at. Mohebi's stock has constantly been rising since the previous Asian Cup, but it is the time for you to make the jump to a relatively serious club. You have now scored goals in Asian Cups, World Cups. You're a relatively big part player now for the Iranian national team. What are you going to do about it? I know you could take the easy way out and just go to the UAE or back to Iran, go back to Russia, whatever it may be. But if you got offers on the table to actually go to a half decent league in Europe, please, Mohebi, take the deal and go for it. You only got like maybe 4 to 5 solid years left in your career. You're entering your peak. Just give it a go. You have nothing to lose. These offers from Iran, the Middle East will always be there for you. If any of these rumors are remotely true, I better not be seeing you make some stupid move back to Russia or go to the UAE League. If he goes to the UAE League, oh God, I'm going to be absolutely flipping shit. And then finally, for the last player, it is Majid Hosseini. Hosseini. Hosseini's a bit of an interesting discussion because many of us may have just completely forgotten how his injury was a fairly big detriment for Iran at this World Cup, because if he was healthy, I think he would have been one of the starting center backs for us. We wouldn't have seen all the three stooges of Nemati, Khalilzadeh, Kanani. I think Hosseini would have been one of the main guys to be paired up with one of them, which would have been way better for us in my opinion. But he was the first of two big losses due to injury before the World Cup. And because of Golizadeh's injury, which was a lot closer to the World Cup, it overshadowed Hosseini's injury and how much of a detriment it was for our defense. I think he should be back like 1 or 2 months into the season, but Father Time is undefeated. He is getting older. He gets injured so much. That has always been his biggest detriment. Can he stay healthy this year in the Turkish league? Can he string consistent minutes? And then can he translate that to the national team? Yes, he's not a younger player, but he is a guy that I've mentioned in one of my previous videos how he should be the main center back that should be paired up with a younger defender like a Zare, a Fala, and really building this new defensive line. And if Hosseini just strings a good year in Turkey, which I think he can if he just stays healthy, could still have a chance to maybe make a slightly better move to another team in Europe. But he just needs to stay healthy. I want him to play in this Asian Cup. I want him to be our main center back paired with younger guys. I think it would complement so well for our back line. But again, it is very dependent on if Khalanoui makes somewhat of a transition for this national team going into the Asian Cup. I don't know. That's obviously the biggest cloud hanging over us. So yeah, I think that's where I'm going to conclude it. But as I always say at the end of every single video, boys and girls, my opinion only matters so much. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. I know this was a certified yap sesh, just talking about some of the Iranian footballers, but maybe this is a type of video you guys want to see going forward. Just talking, you and me, about whatever is on my mind. Don't forget to smash the like button on this video. And if you're new to the channel and you're not subscribed, we're on the road to 7,000 subscribers before the Asian Cup, so make sure to subscribe. And if you guys enjoyed this video, don't stop watching now, as I have countless other fantastic videos across my YouTube channel. So click this video next, as the YouTube algorithm specifically recommended this video for you all, and click over here as I post content weekly on the channel and you don't want to miss it. But boys and girls, I hope you'll have a lovely day.